Years later, I still remember that evening like it was yesterday. I was just a teenager then, walking home through the streets of our small town. It was one of those towns where nothing much happened, a place where every face was familiar and every corner held a childhood memory. The air was crisp with the onset of fall, leaves crunching underfoot as I strolled, lost in the mundanity of teenage thoughts. It was on that ordinary walk home from school that I first encountered them. The tourist couple who seemed friendly at first glance, but oddly unsettling. They stood out immediately, an anomaly in our sleepy town. The man wore a wide-brimmed hat and a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes, while the woman had a scarf draped elegantly over her shoulders, her gaze sharp and piercing. They approached me with an air of cordiality that felt overly rehearsed. "Such a charming town you have here," the man said in a tone dripping with insincerity. They asked me about local landmarks, their questions probing, almost invasive. As our conversation drew to a close, they extended an invitation. "We're attending a local event tonight, a sort of gathering for travelers and townsfolk. You should join us. It'll be a delightful experience," the woman suggested with a smile that seemed more a warning than a welcome. Despite the alarm bells ringing in my head, curiosity got the better of me. I agreed to attend, unaware of the nightmare that awaited. The rest of the day, the invitation lingered in my mind, a mix of excitement and unease. As evening approached, I found myself walking towards the location they had mentioned, an old, secluded warehouse on the outskirts of town. It was a place usually avoided by locals, surrounded by overgrown weeds and with a reputation for being haunted. As I approached, I noticed flickering lights and heard the distant murmur of voices. The setting sun cast long shadows, giving the warehouse an eerie, almost sinister appearance. Stepping inside, I was greeted by an unexpected scene. Dimly lit lanterns hung from the rafters, casting a gloomy glow over the small crowd gathered inside. The atmosphere was oddly muted, the air thick with an unspoken tension. I scanned the room for familiar faces but found none. It was then that I spotted the couple, their smiles too wide, their eyes scanning the crowd like predators. The couple welcomed me with an enthusiasm that felt disturbingly forced. They ushered me deeper into the warehouse, where the crowd seemed to part for them. As I followed, a sense of dread settled over me. The air was stifling, the dim light playing tricks on my eyes, making shadows twist and turn in unnatural ways. It was when they led me to a secluded corner that the true horror of the situation revealed itself. Hidden from the main area, I saw unsettling symbols etched onto the floor, and an array of strange, archaic objects laid out in a precise pattern. The couple's demeanor shifted dramatically. The facade of friendliness fell away, revealing a chilling intent in their eyes. They began speaking in hushed, urgent tones about a ritual and how fortunate they were to find a perfect participant from the town. In a moment of desperate clarity, I feigned a stumble, knocking over one of their bizarre artifacts. As they momentarily diverted their attention, I seized the chance to bolt. I dashed through the maze of people, my breath ragged with fear. The couple shouted after me, their voices sharp and commanding, slicing through the din of the confused crowd. I weaved through the warehouse, my mind racing for an exit. Behind me, I could hear the couple's footsteps, their persistence fueling my terror. I spotted a small side door, half hidden in the shadows, and lunged for it. Bursting into the cool night air, I didn't stop to look back. I ran as if the devil himself were on my heels, the couple's angry shouts fading into the distance. The dark streets of my small town had never felt so alien, so menacing. I kept running, not knowing if they were still behind me, my only thought to put as much distance as possible between us. Years have passed since that terrifying night, but the memory remains etched in my mind. I never saw the couple again, and no one else in town seemed to have encountered them. The event changed me. The naive belief in the mundane safety of my small town was shattered forever. As I recount this story now, as an adult, I can't help but wonder what would have happened if I hadn't escaped. The encounter with the couple remains a haunting mystery, a chilling reminder of the hidden dangers that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most ordinary places. Reflecting on those days, a chilling thought often crosses my mind. Around that time, there were whispers in town about people going missing, faces that one day were there and the next, simply gone without a trace. As a teenager, I never paid much attention to these rumors, dismissing them as town gossip. But now, as I look back, I can't shake the feeling that the couple had something to do with it. Their sinister presence, the fear I felt that night, it all seems too coincidental. Were they preying on our small town, leaving a trail of unexplained disappearances in their wake? The possibility haunts me, the unanswered questions lingering like shadows in my memory.